Welcome back to Big Board. So it's on like Donkey Kong in Panzer North Africa. We're on to turn 16. I think the last update I did was the end of turn 10 or top of turn 10, something like that. Try and make this relatively quick if I can. Lots going on. Every turn, all 16 so far. We just started doing some shots in turn 16. They're in the fire phase. And every turn has had this car sim, whatever it's called, winds and whatnot. And it's been just dust and obscured visibility and negative modifiers to the fire combat. So it's been really difficult to hit things, very difficult to see things, and it's just complete chaos. And it's awesome. I keep positioning units, thinking, particularly with the 88s. I keep positioning them, thinking, oh, okay, next turn it's going to be clear, and these guys are going to have great lines of sight and all the rest of it. So that hasn't happened. 88s haven't really been much of a factor, except for one shot when there was some tank around here somewhere that fired, and we managed to get a good line of sight on it, number one. And number two, we had the visibility working for us. There were no other detractions to the shot, so we could actually see the damn thing. So that's been fun. Now, the only interesting thing here is that it's become very much a close quarters knife fight for a tank battle. We're 8 hexes apart here, basically about 8 or 10 hexes apart here, and that has played against the Allies pretty significantly. I thought these Crusader 2s were going to be more effective than they are, but at medium range, they're struggling. They need to close, and then in doing so, they're taking quite a bit of damage. I wanted to come around, but because of the weather, movement is going to be halved off road, and it's only 4 at best anyway. So we can only move 2 hexes a turn. It's turn 16 to 25. The Germans are starting to think, hey, we might just keep pushing and run the gauntlet here. But first, let's clean up these grants, which is what they've done. They have now knocked out 2, 4, 5 grants. The grant tanks are now at their cohesion point level with one of the advanced rules. I think it's, is it 7.1 or 6.5? One of the two, I can't remember. That starts forcing break rolls or morale rolls for the elements that are suffering at that cohesion point, break point level. And so that puts pressure on them, affects movement, affects their ability to issue certain types of commands, and obviously affects their firing capability. So these guys have gone through Brew Up Central and Knockout Central here as Martyrs took their shots, and we've been relatively successful with these Panzer 3s. They have done the yeoman's work here. Unfortunately, we've lost a couple. I think I've lost 2 Panzer 3s, or a Panzer 3J Lang, and a Panzer 3J out of these 2 stacks here. So nevertheless, closing and taking a hull hit here as well. For what are these guys? Yeah, these are 4 Fs, I think. Yeah, 4 Fs. So they've taken a hit from a Crusader, did hull damage. But so it's on like Donkey Kong. We're going to keep going. This has delayed everything. I was expecting to get to a sort of a concluding point much earlier in the cycle, given that we would get some clear weather at some point in the game, because I was expecting to be able to move up faster and further. And so the dust element in this particular scenario, I think it's scenario 73, 72. Let me just pull back a page and I'll tell you. I've got so many bits and pieces of paper flying around here. Scenario 73. So it's really slowed down the gameplay, which is fine. It's just making it hard for everyone to kill things. Interestingly enough, the Germans decided to get a little more aggressive up here. Let me zoom in here, and they've paid the price for it pretty heftily. Let's see if I can zoom in. I don't know if that's how that's going to look zoomed in. Trying to take this hill. It's worth VPs. Took fire here. On the most critical turn 16, the Allies actually got initiative, and so they chose to fire first. They inflicted a step loss here with a 80 plus on the die roll in the GP combat, and that will suppress those dudes. This Portee 2-pounder fired here, HE, and put a step loss on that bad boy, and he is also suppressed. So that has not worked out well for us. We have one, and I've got to check on whether he gets suppressed as well. I forget with infantry if everybody in the hex becomes suppressed when there's a loss or casualty. Neither here nor there. We'll get that squared away once it's our turn to do movement and whatnot when the time comes. So that's going on there. That was very interesting little evolution. I was tempted to divert some tanks and overrun these guys, but with the slow movement rates, it'd probably take 3 turns to get there, and I'd rather shoot tanks. Now, the reason why it's important, in fact, that these guys be eliminated is that we don't want them exiting off the map because it's good for VPs for the Germans. The Germans need I think they need to get 9 units off the map, and if they do, 9 units from the infantry company off the map. If they do, then Yahoo for them. They will get a swag of VPs. That's representing the breakthrough penetration in the overall battle. I have, and because of that, and with the advent of the Grants and the Crusaders coming, I pulled back the half tracks. They're loaded up here. I know these guys are supposed to be underneath to show them loaded, but it's stupid because they don't stack properly. So loaded when I play is units on top. So these half tracks have pulled back, and as have a couple of these others here. They're looking, you're actually facing the wrong way, dude. Yeah, they're all supposed to be facing the other direction. I have them spun around so I can read them. I probably should have played this game from the other side of the board, but that's okay. Easy there. Oh, gee whiz. Now we're flipping things over and getting the wrong guys. Let me just do this like so. Great thing playing solo is we can just say that's the way they're facing. Anyway, there we go. So there's that. So pulling back, and as we do, we're kicking up dust, so it helps protect the units a little bit, but way out of range for the Grants, which are all the way back over here, and also suffering and have immediate threats to their front. So they won't be targeting any of these half tracks that we need to get off the map, and these infantry units are hunkering down. Oops, off screen. There we go, hunkering down right there, and waiting for the opportunity to make the run for the edge of the board. All right, that's a deal. Talk to you soon. On to turn the rest of turn 16.